It is now my great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Stephanie Bryant. As Executive Vice President and Chief Accreditation Officer for AACSB, Dr. Bryant is part of AACSB's executive leadership team and provides vision, leadership, and oversight of accreditation-related services for 836 of the best business schools in the world. Additionally, she coordinates some 500+ volunteers from business schools and business who play an essential role in helping schools achieve their mission through accreditation. As an established scholar and thought leader, Dr. Bryant acts as spokesperson around the world and advocate for the advancement of quality business and accounting education, and engages business stakeholders to help schools prepare future leaders with the right skills and mindset to lead in a changing, diverse, and global world. Before joining AACSB in 2017, Dr. Bryant served as Dean of the College of Business right here at Missouri State University. During her tenure, enrollment grew by almost 1,000 students, making our business school the largest college of business at any public university in the central Midwest. Also under her leadership, Glass Hall was renovated and the Robert Gorley Student Success Center was built. With over 2 decades of experience as a professor and in college administration, she is a highly respected researcher and scholar. Her area of academic specialty is accounting, information technology, security, and control, and she has co-authored 2 textbooks and more than 30 academic articles. Dr. Bryant received her PhD and BS in accounting from Louisiana State University and is a Louisiana CPA. She was named to the inaugural class of Biz 417 Women Who Mean Business, and twice named to Biz 417's Top 100 Most Powerful and Influential Business Leaders in Southwest Missouri. She was also named one of Springfield's most influential women while here. Dr. Bryant is an active supporter of the university and considers it her real college home. She's a fan of all Bear sports, but has a special place in her heart for the Lady Bears. She subscribes to the motto, "Once a Bear, always a Bear." Please join me in welcoming home one of our Bears, Dr. Stephanie Bryant.
Greetings, President Smart, Provost Einhellig, members of the Board of Governors, faculty and administration, friends and families, and of course, you, our graduates. To you, I say a special welcome. Hey, Bears! I love that. I cannot begin to express how thrilled I am to be back home in Springfield at the university that I consider my home. Brent Dunn, our Vice President of Advancement, once said about me that while I didn't graduate from Missouri State University, you would never know it. I take that as a great compliment because it's true. I will always be a Bear. My years as Dean of the College of Business at Missouri State are a cherished memory, and I am so honored to share this special day with you today. Many commencement speakers will give you a top 10 list of things to remember. But you know what? I remember being you. You're excited, and you aren't going to remember a whole lot about today, much less 10 things I ask you to remember. So I'm going to ask you to remember one thing, just one, and it's this word, ripples. I'm talking about the type of ripples that we create when we interact with others. And I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to share with you the story of how I discovered the importance of making those ripples count. So to set up the story and help you remember it, I want to start by asking you to please do something for me. So I want you to, listen, graduates, I want you to close your eyes. So do that now. Close your eyes. I see you looking at your cell phone. Don't look at your cell phone. All right, now, visualize in your mind a pond, and it's a beautiful pond. Everybody see the pond? Now imagine that you pick up a rock and you toss it across the pond. What's going to happen? You're going to see ripples. Okay, open your eyes, but I want you to keep that image of the ripples in your mind. And here is why. Many years ago, I visited my grandmother, who I called Nan, who was in a nursing home in Louisiana. However, I happened to stop by during lunch, and so I was asked to wait in the living room until she finished her lunch. So I went in the living room, and I looked around. There was nobody there. There wasn't a soul in the room. Some people say that the sense of smell is our strongest of all the senses. And to this day, I remember how that living room smelled musty from the old furniture that was in there. And I saw a piano in the corner. I'm a person who never passes up a piano. So I went over to the piano, and there was a hymn book on top of the piano. And it was old too, like everything was old. It was old too. It was so old that it was the type of hymn book that had shape notes. So if you know anything about music, that's like 100 years old, so really old. But I was a church pianist for many years, and so I sat down and I began to play hymns in this empty room just to pass the time. So I was waiting for my Nan to finish her lunch. I played Amazing Grace, and I played In the Garden, and I played Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, and all these other hymns that I had grown up singing and playing in church. After a few minutes, an aide came in, and he approached me, and he leaned over, and he said, "Can you play Near the Cross?" And I said, "Sure, I can play that," thinking maybe he just likes hymns. And then he leaned in, and he whispered to me, and he said, "There's an elderly man down the hall who is listening to you play. He's bedridden, and he asked me to ask you if you would please play Near the Cross for him." That blew me away. I had no idea that anyone could hear me playing, but somebody did hear, and it meant something to that person. It was quite a lesson for me. So I turned to the song in the hymn book, and I played all 4 verses of Near the Cross for the elderly man down the hall who I never met. I like to think that it comforted him, and that maybe it wasn't an accident that Nan was at lunch when I showed up that day to visit her. Though I never met that man, he taught me one of the most important lessons of my life, for it was at that moment that I realized that there's a ripple effect to all of our interactions with others, whether those actions are intentional or not. And I realized then that even if I didn't know it, people would notice what I did and what I said and how I acted, and if I made a careless joke or I wasn't careful with my language or was cheap with my words, people would notice and it would create a ripple. I have never forgotten that lesson, and that is a lesson that I hope you will remember. Because remember, just asking you to remember one. So that's the lesson. People notice what you say and what you do, and it will create a ripple. So now go back to the image in your head. Remember that? The rock that you tossed across the pond and the ripples that the rock created. Do you see it? You are the rock. You are that rock. Those ripples you see are the results of your words and your deeds. As you go forward in your post-collegiate life, remember this. Through your everyday actions, your behaviors, and your words, you are going to create a vast pool of ripples. You get to choose the kinds of ripples you will create. It's a conscious choice. I encourage you, I implore you, choose to create positive ripples in all that you say or do. Choose to make the world better because you were here. Congratulations, graduates. Your Missouri State family is so proud of you, and we can't wait to see the positive ripples that we know you are going to create with your lives. And lastly, I never get tired of saying it. Go Bears! Thank you.